Hi, I just want to drop a content and trigger warnings for blood, gore, death, vomit, existential violence, mutilation, and many other acts of cruelty. Viewer discretion is advised.
Copyright fuckers, open the door. Copyright motherfuckers, open the door. Wait to get sued by these motherfuckers. Copyright fuckers, open the door. Ooh.
There we go.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
What's uppers?
Oh
I'm Tony, and with
my
me today
God.
is Matt,
What's good, man?
James,
Hey, dude.
and Lauren.
Hello.
Holy shit.
Are you good?
Holy
Just the
fucking
way you
shit.
And
said
today we're going to be
Fuck out.
talking about fucking Chainsaw Man, my favorite manga.
Hell yeah, man. Oh my god. Yeah, that was
We're going to start this off strong, bro.
that was an opening bit. Okay. Yeah, let's just
James had to leave the room for a second, so it's just me on this.
Okay.
All right. So, beginning, Chainsaw Man is a manga running in Shonen Jump, or did run in Shonen Jump. Now it's in a weird, nebulous
Hiatus?
place.
I would say question mark? I don't
Question mark.
exactly
We'll
know.
get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it at the end. But currently, Nebulous ran in Shonen Jump, written by Fujimoto Tatsuki of Fire Punch fame. Some people say Fire Punch is better. Highly disagree with them.
Oh, really?
But that's a discussion for another time.
Okay.
That being said, let's fucking get into it.
Wait, just
Wait,
to put a
Can I just clarify for myself?
Go for it.
I did not realize that this was a manga series. I actually thought it was like a horror movie that we were going to be talking about today. So
I
I'm gonna
mean-
learn
Well,
something.
fun for you.
Like-
It's about has the pacing of a horror
like
movie.
it has like horror elements to it
Oh, okay.
too.
Okay.
Like there's some it's a what you would call a zenny?
Oh,
Is that
what?
the genre of
I'm sorry?
manga that we're talking about? As like specifically, it's more like adult, like in themes and in material. But,
Despite running in the young the young adult manga,
right, it's
there were many times while reading Chainsaw Man I was just going, "How is this in Jump?"
and Tony will probably describe to you like why or like
Oh,
why he would
absolutely.
think
There's-
that way. But just to put a sort of a dot in this, before we get into it, we're going to spoil the absolute dog shit out of Chainsaw Man.
Oh,
So
completely.
if
Oh, yeah.
you've
Completely.
never read Chainsaw Man, it's literally 100 chapters. It goes by really quickly. I would recommend reading that before coming to this, just so like everything you hear and listen to like doesn't catch you off guard while reading it. But that being said, James and Lauren have never read it, so we're about to spoil the dog shit out of it for them.
Oh no!
I
don't
read manga,
that
so it's
manga that I
fine.
was gonna read.
Yeah, darn it. Gotta take it off
I've
the
read
list.
I've read it on the recommendation of Tony and another good friend of ours. So yeah, take it away, Tony.
Well, it starts out. I'll explain the world a little bit before we get into the actual nitty gritty of shit. There are demons in the world, and the way that they like exist is kind of a Shintoist like idea where like if you're scared of something, then that will create the demon. And then the more that you fear it, and the more that other people fear it, the stronger the demon becomes, essentially.
All right.
And then from there, it's just honestly a pretty normal ass world. All things considered, you're basically in regular ass Tokyo.
Yeah.
Despite having demons, it seems like everybody is like fully aware
Like,
of the
everyone is
demons and
relatively
shit.
cool with the idea of just demons coming through and just wrecking shit on their town. Like, it's never
I guess-
fully explained how, like, I guess, like, how they deal with the damages or whatever, because it doesn't really matter in the long run.
Well, there's a
But-
private sector and a public sector. So
Right.
the public sector is the one that we follow for pretty much the entire time, but the private sector essentially deals with like people that are like the rich that are being attacked by a fucking demon or something, so they hire their own personal dude. The public sector is just a fucking meat grinder.
Yeah. It's just people coming in, and then they're just like, no. If they survive long enough to get through, like, at least, like, what, like a year, they usually tap out.
At best, yeah.
At best, they tap out. At worst, they just fucking eat it. They eat it hard, too, most of the time, for reasons that Tony will probably explain here in a minute.
One note, theoretically, maybe the reason people are so kind of, like, normalized to demons is if everyone was, like, running around with their fucking head off about it, they'd obviously get fucking stronger. So...
Yeah, like, I guess, like, theoretically there is, like, No. Just go. Because
Alright.
that gets
So,
into theoretical territory.
we open up on, the most, the most beaten down, I think, and, like, what how would you describe it? Like the word, like what word would it be? Like
He's essentially just like, if we're talking about dogs, or if we're comparing it to dogs,
no,
he's a
we're
mutt.
talking. I'm talking about Denji. About
Yeah, he's
how
a
just
mutt. He's a fucking mutt. Like,
essentially.
like he is a not a fuck up per se of his own
no.
accord. He's a fuck up by circumstance.
Exactly. But in those circumstances, the best thing about Denji's character is that he takes literally every opportunity that he gets and will run with it.
Right.
And he, even from the very beginning of the story, he has already sold his left eye, sold one of his nuts, sold a kidney, all to the black market in order to pay off a massive debt that he owes to the Yakuza. And due to his father dying after or killing himself, having a debt to the Yakuza, and then that being placed upon Denji.
What the fuck
And
did I
there's, like,
listen to in the last 5 minutes? Jesus Christ.
Hey man, gotta ask questions, bro.
This is the literal opening of Chainsaw Man. It opens up.
Literally opens up with this.
Yeah,
Yes.
it quite literally opens up with a kid who has an eye patch
tallying
because...
up in his debt book that he just sold this, and that. He's like doing lumber work and like basically spends all of his waking moments working for money in order to pay this like astronomical debt that's like 86 like million yen or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. That's it. That's basically it.
But yeah. As a child, basically, literally the day of, he was told that he has this debt. He met... by the way, just side note, when he's told that he has this debt by a Yakuza member, he's like 12 to like 13, and the guy's like, yeah, I don't care how you go get your money, you can whore yourself out, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but if you don't get us, like, a starting payment at least, like, we're just gonna chop you up and sell you for parts. That's, like, the best we're gonna get out of you.
Yep.
And so, completely downtrodden, basically ready for death, Denji is, like, sitting in a graveyard, looking at his father's grave whenever the demon Puchita shows up.
Mind you, Fuchita is a very cute demon dog. I love him. I love him to death.
Yes. So his appearance is very, like, almost chibi-like in a way. He is like a doggo with a chainsaw just poking out of his head.
Yeah, just imagine a dog and, like, he's got, like, a butt face, but, like, in between the cheeks, right where the crack is supposed to be, just like a chainsaw blade sticks out of it, James.
Essentially.
So okay,
and he
so
always looks
he's the
doofy.
chainsaw man.
No,
We're getting there.
okay.
We're
he is
getting
not
there.
the chainsaw man.
But
Per
he
se.
so and then when he shows up, he's like dying and or hurt, and so Denji makes a deal with Pucci to and and they essentially form a friendship there, as Denji will then use Puchita to go around like small scale hunting, like hunting devils, like the tomato devil,
Yeah.
for instance, is like one of them that he hunts.
Mind you, did we explain how devils work? Did you explain that?
I think I did, but I'll reiterate that, like, so literally anything could be a devil. There's a coffee devil. There could be because if like you're scared of like the hotness of it, that is like what will fuel and create it, essentially.
So yeah.
And then you can just go for the broad spectrum, and we'll get into it. But there are some pretty fucking nutso demons that show up.
And mind you,
And
like,
implications.
like it implies that, like, since there is a tomato devil, it implies that somewhere out there in the world, a group of people are scared of tomatoes. And mind you, in the manga, the tomato devil is kind of big. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's a
it's kinda
relatively
actually
a
huge.
medium to big sized devil. So that means, relatively in scale, that there are multiple groups of people scared of tomatoes. It's like, James.
Also mention this now, since go ahead, real
James,
quick.
it's like being scared of, like, sex toys, right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine
exactly.
if you were scared of, like,
Or
dildos. Yeah. Like,
Or
if
any
you-
fetish.
Dude, that'd
like,
be ridiculous.
if you were scared of being pegged, there is a, like,
The pegging devil.
there's, like, the pegging devil out there somewhere, and his head is just a dildo.
And he has 27 strap-ons on him.
That's it.
And
That's
every
it.
time another person gets scared of him, a new strap-on pops out,
Yeah.
essentially.
So don't be scared, man. Just take it. Just take the pegging.
I'll also mention this now. This is a concept that's like later on described, but it doesn't really affect like the future, or like it doesn't really affect the beginning parts of the story. Is that if you kill a demon, then if they're in like the human world, we'll say, then they'll go to hell. And if you kill a demon in hell, then they'll go back to the demon or to the human world, essentially.
It's a good time.
And
good
there's
time.
a couple that can not necessarily flip-flop between the two, but can like open passageways between the two.
Yup.
All
All right, keep going.
Carrying on. So we're at a point now where Denji is in still crippling debt. He's about 16, 17 years old now. He and one day the Yakuza boss who like originally confronted him and gave him this debt in the first place, essentially, basically calls him up and is like, yo, we have a job for you. This guy treats him like a fucking literal dog. He tells like one of his like subordinates that he'll literally do anything for money, which then causes his subordinate to be like, swallow this cigarette butt for like fucking 10 cents, like a quarter, essentially.
Perfect.
And he does.
He does it.
But
does it.
he does it, but he also doesn't actually swallow the cigarette, but he spits it back up after they leave. So you can kind of interpret that to be like with Denji that sure, he will do what he has to do, but he doesn't necessarily enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah.
Like he isn't a completely blind like automaton servant. And
Ooh.
we'll get into that.
There are some implications with that. Anyways, keep going.
So the guy pulls him up. He's like, I got a job for you in like the middle of the fucking night. They drive him to a warehouse where he is then confronted by like 20 other Yakuza guys and the zombie devil, who has basically convinced these guys to give him the zombie devil, Denji and Puchita, more so that he wants Puchita because he wants the more devils that you kill as a devil, you also gain strength, it seems. I don't know, that seems less tight.
It's a little
the,
vague.
Like, fear thing.
Yeah, it's a little vague on the idea. Maybe it's more like implied that you get power within hell, like, or notoriety in hell. Because I think if it's like
that could be a thing too.
If devils fear you too, you get a lot more powerful.
That's true. That's fair.
So,
And that would make sense.
right.
So then Denji's just chopped the fuck up and thrown in a dumpster. They also kill Puchita too, along with them. So I guess the zombie devil didn't really want him. He wanted to kill him, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, so
what
he
was
fucking
looking
died?
for.
Yes, he
Yeah,
died.
no.
He dies literally in the first chapter. Like, the first chapter ends with him just dead.
What
No,
the
no,
fuck?
this is about the midway point of the first chapter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's like
First
Attack on
chapter's
Titan.
about 50 pages.
Where, like,
yeah.
he just the main character just dies, and it's kind of graphic too, honestly.
Oh, it's pretty horrific. They literally chop him like 2 pieces and just dump him in a dumpster. And so as like Denji's final death gasps are like awakening, him and Puchita form a final contract where Puchita essentially says that I want to see you live your life. He like gave him the vaguest contract he could give him in order to save his life.
It was very sweet, honestly.
Very. The relationship between Puchita and Denji is actually like relatively small in the scheme of the story, but every time they are ever like on screen together, very warm, very good shit. I enjoy them.
Good time.
Them and their relationship a lot.
It's a good time.
So wait,
But,
so the demon saves him?
Yeah. So
Yes.
Wow.
Denji then bursts out of the fucking dumpster. He's now the Chainsaw Man.
He is now
he has,
the Chainsaw Man.
He has a fucking like his head is like the handle of a chainsaw essentially, like along with like all of the like engine and everything like that. And then his face has like a giant fucking chainsaw jutting out of it, and then both of his arms have chainsaws coming out of it. It's pretty sick. He goes sicko mode on him. During this going sicko mode, he realizes, if I kill all of these Yakuza guys, my debt goes away forever.
I also believe he describes the experience as being, like, uncomfortable. Because like, his hands literally split open to have these chainsaws come out of it.
This is some Animorph shit, where it's, like, not... It's not, like, painful, but, like, the act of the, like, body horror is discomforting to the self.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, there are a lot more, like, panels in, the manga where, like, he's, like, depowered, but he's also trying to transform at the same time, and it's fucked up.
So he transforms between being a normal dude and then being the Chainsaw Man, or is he the Chainsaw Man always?
So no. At the end of this confrontation, he fucking kills and literally eats the zombie devil by. So one thing about Chainsaw Man especially is that like blood is essentially his fuel. So if he's just slaughtering people around, and gets splattered with it, that just automatically refuels him in a way. But he's also, like, the idea is that he's consuming the blood, too, at the same time, I guess. So he kills this is important for later on. I'm only clarifying that for the fucking nerds out there.
It'd be like that. Nerds do be like that.
Yeah. So, at the end of this confrontation, though, the public, demon hunting sector arrives, just like any other police when you call non-emergency, fucking show up 2 hours late after everything's already fucking over.
Whoa. Whoa.
Real shit.
Whoa, Tony. Political. On my anime podcast?
On my anime podcast.
On my anime podcast.
And on my birthday, no less.
In front of
On
me
my
eating my
podcast,
fucking
no.
cereal, bro. On my anime podcast, we get political? Anyway.
Bruh. Anyways, so amongst those people is a character named Makima, who will be very important.
Dude, Makima's my waifu.
Machina?
Yeah,
Makima,
sure. She was
yeah.
everybody's
Yeah, base.
waifu.
Yeah, man. She's great. Here, I'll send a
Uh,
picture for her in the Discord. I've been sending pictures of just random images in the Discord if you want to see them. I'm sure Tony will throw them up on the video when he edits this, so it's all good.
Yeah.
He's got memes already, but for those of us that are in the now, here are some pictures of Makima.
I found out now that the meme level, the amount of images that I use for like videos tends to balloon far past 20 images.
Ah, fuck it. Just fuck
But
it.
when I'm editing it, I figure them out in real time, so it's good. It's all good. Anyway, Makima shows up. She literally she is attracted. Well, we'll start with attracted for now. To the sight of Chainsaw Man, and
Here's
literally
Makima, by the way.
hugs him.
Ew.
Gives Denji a big ol' hug as he is the Chainsaw Man, and this depowers him essentially.
Why does this
And he,
picture make her have a fupa?
Oh.
What
I
is
think
that?
that's just
What is this?
that's just that's just the picture, bro. It ain't nothing.
No, like
It
the
ain't
rest,
nothing
like the rest of it is like skinny fupa.
Yeah, I know. That's just the picture. Anyways, keep going.
But Denji gets depowered and then calms down. She's like, "Yo, I haven't ever seen like a demon that can switch, or like I've never seen someone like you, because there exists in this world devil men, but Denji isn't exactly that. So a regular devil man is someone that like a body that like a devil possesses
Well,
after their death. And
okay,
then the,
sorry,
the
side
devil
note.
and the person
Sort
kind of
of.
symbiotic.
They're not called. They're okay. Side note: they're called fiends. They have like a
Are they
separate
called
name.
fiends?
Yeah,
I
they're
thought-
called fiends. Like Power is a fiend.
Whoa, bro.
The Pain
Whoa,
Devil
bro. I
is a-
think you only saying that cause you read the fucking fan subs.
Are they not called fiends? Okay.
Nah, they're devil men, bro.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Yeah,
They
that's
call
what
him that like 20, 30 times, like towards the end.
Never mind then. I guess I read the fan sub then. That's my B.
But
Might be.
however, there will be more like Denji later on. So
Yeah, keep
only
going.
a few though, relatively. Anyway, so a devil man is a person that like a demon has possessed and is essentially taken over the entire consciousness of, and like is in control 100% of the time. They're synonymous from each other. Denji, on the other hand, can like transform from human to Chainsaw Man, and then that has its own effects. Really, all it boils down to is you have two character designs for Denji.
Right. Sell more toys, bro. Sell more toys.
Makima is like driving and basically offers Denji a job into the public sector. He doesn't realize at first that she basically gives him, like, is forcing this upon him, because the only other option he had was death.
Right.
And getting put down, due to being, a fucking demon.
Right.
Of course.
Oh my god.
So he joins the public sector. He does some bullshit that doesn't matter. But what really matters is the most popular character in the entire manga, according to the popularity polls.
Dude, Power is
No
She's lit.
one man should have all that power.
Power's lit, bro. I love Power. Anyways, describe her. Who is this girl?
So Power is a devil man that is the more traditional one, where a demon infested a body and is now the main consciousness. Power is like a honestly like the most toxic and worst person to ever be around, but you know, she's an anime girl, so she's cute.
Right. She's got horns, bro. Power's lit.
She's got horns and pink hair.
Regrettable.
And sharp teeth.
And sharp teeth. Here.
And sharp teeth, bro. That's like a trifecta of anime horn.
I mean, honestly, best girl, Power.
But so Power, she is also working for the public sector in this like weirdo group.
You forgot
people. I did forget Aki. I will go back to Aki.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, you forgot to introduce him. He's lit, too.
He is lit. Aki is like one of my favorite characters, for sure. But come on, Power, bro.
Yeah, Power. Power's great. I love Power. Love me some Power.
But Power is part of this like weirdo group of people. Aki is the leader. He's the Sasuke of the story, but not. He's like brooding, and like has like the Sasuke haircut, but like I don't know. He has times of levity where like he's you definitely get charmed to him for sure. For instance, the first time him and Denji are like put together to go and like basically walk around and look for like trouble and demons and shit in like in Tokyo, Aki pulls him aside and is like, "Are you just doing this for Makima?" And like Denji's like, yeah, sure." I mean, I have literally nothing else in my fucking life at all. So sure. He's like, "Just fucking quit, dude." And then literally beats his ass in an alleyway.
You forget.
Beats his ass, spits on him, and throws a lit cigarette on him.
Tony forgot to mention that Denji's whole entire character, like, his whole entire driving character motivation is that he is trying to cop a fee.
Not yet.
Not yet?
What the fuck? That's coming up. That's like right after meeting Aki.
Okay, keep going then. I should stop interrupting. I fucking love Chainsaw Man.
This is good. It's good.
Chainsaw Man's good.
So Aki fucking beats his ass in an alleyway, spits on him, throws a cigarette on him, and like tries to leave like a cool guy. But Denji gets back up and is like, "Yo, bro, every time I fight dudes, I just kick him in the dick." And then proceeds to kick him in the dick like 7 times.
Dude, yeah.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
He's very specific about it too. He's like, every time I fight guys specifically, I just aim for the nuts. And
well, I mean,
he's like, what? And then
if you aimed when fighting a woman, it wouldn't do anything.
You're not wrong. But like, yeah,
it's like whenever you're playing Johnny Cage and then the nut punch misses when you're fighting Melina.
Like, but yeah.
When they come back, Denji tells Makima that Aki got attacked by the nutsack devil.
Yeah.
And then from that point forward, they become like roommates, and Denji lives with him. So Denji then meets Power, who is also part of this like weirdo group that Aki is like assigned to as the group leader to. But Power, how does this happen? So Power is essentially like, "Yo, I lost my fucking cat. I need to get my fucking cat back. Will you help me get my cat back? And if you do, I'll let you touch my boobs." Which then, like, fucking Denji's like, "I'm in." I will literally kill God. I will kill God right now.
Immediately in. Like, immediately in.
And so, However, this is a trick. The Bat Devil has been holding her cat hostage this entire time and has basically been waiting for power to like lead people back to him to feed on because he's like been like heavily injured, I believe, and like
He's a
he needs
bitch.
blood in order to like recuperate his shit.
He's a bitch.
Denji gets caught in like the trap and is such a good boy that he just doesn't even care that he got totally fucked over and like basically is just like I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You wanted to get your cat back. I get it.
Yeah.
And literally holds no hard feelings over this situation for the rest of the story.
That's pretty much like the running theme with Denji, is it not? Like, he doesn't hold any hard feelings against literally anything that happens to him in the series.
Basically, like, I would say, yeah, it stems from his, like, childhood mindset of just, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And
It
the thing
doesn't
is-
matter if it's good or evil.
The thing is he gets fucked up pretty badly by some people that he just
Oh.
doesn't care about anymore.
Absolutely.
He gets
Absolutely.
fucked up. It's great. Fantastic.
But, so, Denji fucks up the Bat Devil. They go back, and Denji doesn't say anything about the trap. Cat rescued, though, so mission accomplished.
It's all good. It's all good. We got the cat. That's literally the only thing Power, like, actually has any, like, in the beginning, the only thing she cares about is literally her cat.
Basically, yeah.
Like, she doesn't
Her
give a
cat and
fuck
herself.
about anybody else.
And herself, yeah.
Right.
So, from that point, we then meet, Eye Patch Girl, who has a... Oh, I also forgot to mention... So, the public sector people, like, the people that aren't Devilmen, or whatever the fuck Denji is, or whatever the fuck the other people are, have, like, contracts with the devils. So, for instance, Aki has a contract with the Fox Devil, and can, like, throw up, like, the fucking ball tap sign in front of, like, people's heads, and then the Fox Devil will, like, show up out of a wall, and, like, fucking snatch and eat their fucking, like, their top half.
It's lit. It's a
and
really
he
cool
only-
power.
And the Fox Devil only makes contracts with young, handsome men.
So, James, the Fox Devil would make a contract with you, but not with me. Because you're a beautiful, handsome young man, James.
The James, the eternal handsome.
Shut the
young
fuck
boy.
up.
Unfortunately, the way that you make the contract is you give the Fox Devil a piece of your skin. Or like a body part or some shit.
Honestly, the piece of skin isn't even that bad comparatively to some of them.
Yeah, it's not, but you also have to be handsome, and I think James already has that one nailed down.
Fair. You got to get a lot of hair product.
You're
and,
setting up an
really keep on
unrealistic
that shit.
expectation of me, and I fucking hate you.
I just want everyone to know, if you're not, like, you probably
James
won't
is
ever
a
see our
golden
face,
god that
but
is
James
an
is a
Adonis.
good-looking guy. James is
He's
a
an
great-looking
Adonis
dude.
That, the Omega Chad with Thundercock.
I went to college with James, so if you've got any questions, send that in to, what is it? Going Topless.
talkingstockings@gmail.com.
I wish. No, what's the Gmail for questions, Tony?
I think it's going topless questions.
Yeah, or going...
I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, anyways, yeah. Keep going. Keep going, Tony.
You meet this eye patch girl. Her name is slipping my mind at the moment. She has a contract with the Ghost Devil. She had to give up her eye for that. You meet the other most popular character.
Her
in
nher name
the
is
series, Kobeni.
Himeno, by the way.
Oh,
Himeno.
Mino, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Eye patch girl Mino. Kobeni, her other best girl in the series. You'll later find out why. And
great.
then some dude like I don't remember his name. He's just some dude. He's more interesting later on. We'll get into him. But he's basically the straight man of the group, besides Aki.
Right.
which doubly makes him like a I don't give a fuck about this guy kind of guy.
It's more
Right.
viable that he just, like, will eventually, something will happen to him.
Fair, fair,
Like, it just shows that something will eventually happen to him once again.
true. So they all go on a mission where they are entering this like hotel where a demon is like hunkered down at on the 4th floor. But by the time they make it up to the 4th floor, they keep like repeating the same floor like over and over again in a loop. And essentially they've gotten caught by this thing called the Eternity Devil, I believe is the official name for it.
Right.
And so the Eternity Devil is basically just like locking them up there for like as long as possible until he gives the rest of the group an option, in fact a contract, that if they give him Denji, then he'll let them go. And due to the way that like hell and demons work, the demons have to abide by their contract or they will be like permanently disintegrated and sent like stuck in hell for a while. So, and like a lot of their power like fades or influence may fade. I think it probably would be more influence because people would consider them untrustworthy and wouldn't make contracts with them, and then blah 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 blah. Whatever.
Yeah. It's never really explained like what would happen because no devil actually does it, is the thing.
That is fair. It would have been nice, like, at least to just see what would occur, but, you know.
Whatever. It's fine. It gives them general... Usually, okay, the point of that is usually when a devil makes a promise, they usually abide by it. That is the only thing that devils abide by, like, literally throughout the whole entire series. Like, they will lie, they will cheat, they will steal, but they will not break your promise. They'll fucking straight up murder your mom if they want to.
And then some devils will just be like, I don't know. We'll get into them.
We'll just torture you. We'll just torture
Exactly.
you, dumbass.
Exactly.
Tiny hand on the balls, I
But,
see.
No, worse. There is one that is...
Tiny hammer put in your urethra.
No, this is probably... I would probably take the tiny hammer to the balls than what's going to happen when Tony explains it. Keep going, Tony.
So, they get this deal. Kobeni, like, almost immediately is like, yeah, no, let's stab him. Let's fucking kill him. Bro, I want to fucking leave. I want to go home. I've been here for a week now, I think, at this point. And, like, they're, like, virtually out of food at this also, I believe. Or getting close to it.
Right.
However, Denji then figures out that if I get refueled by blood and I attack the giant fucking like apartment-sized monster for long enough, I gotta find his core, right? And so he then just chops this motherfucker up for like 3 days straight. And is, like, constantly being refueled by his blood. He says at one point that, like, it tastes like shit, but, like, it still works anyway.
I mean, he's like, I have become a perpetual, like, motion machine.
He literally invented the perpetual motion machine.
James, how does that engineering work?
It doesn't. Let me just specify. It doesn't. You know what else doesn't, come out quite so good in the engineering world? Having a chainsaw come out of your face. So at this point, I've abandoned about fucking everything.
Well,
Lauren, what do you think about the chainsaw face?
Lauren, your opinions on the chainsaw face.
Lauren, opinions on the chainsaw face.
Lauren,
opinions
on that chainsaw face.
It's not a pretty face.
It's not a pretty face. That is.
It's not.
Hold on, Lauren. Would you like to say it closer into the mic?
It's not a pretty face.
There you
Damn,
have
bro.
it. The report from
Feels
Lauren.
bad.
Not a pretty face, bro.
Damn, bro.
It's an ugly ass face, man.
So, after about 3 days, Denji is done so much damage to the Eternity Devil that he just gives up, and the Eternity Devil's like, ugh, just fucking kill me, please, and like brings his heart to Denji to slay, and then they do, or he does, and they walk out and go on their merry way. And this is about the first 20-ish chapters. And the pacing is a fairly normal shonen manga at this point, where like you're kind of doing mini arcs and establishing characters and doing all this stuff to build towards the future.
The future rules.
The future rules, bro.
So
and then
is the main character a benevolent main character, or is he still like a raging horn dog who just wants to fuck?
He's a pretty raging horn dog.
Dude, that's his character motivation. That's literally Denji's character motivation.
It's not, I wouldn't say that he's a raging horn dog. It's not like he's like, I want to fuck every woman. It's more that he's like, wants to graduate in like things that like he's always fantasized about, like touching a pair of boobs or holding a girl's hand or like just going on a date with a girl or kissing a girl.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, whenever Denji did save the cat, he did feel Power's boobs. However, it didn't feel that great to him, is his description. Where it,
I mean,
and it's basically the idea of you gotta love the boobs that you're grasping.
But you realize that Power has been stuffing her bra the whole entire time.
That too. That also is true too. I forgot about that.
You find out that she's been wearing like bra padding, like more like padding, like cup padding or whatever the fuck is to make her boob size bigger. And like Denji's like, what the fuck is this? It's like, it's to make my bra size bigger. Go ahead, touch it now. And he's just like unsatisfied. Not because it turns out it really does seem like he's unsatisfied because he got duped, but it later turns out that he's unsatisfied because of the love thing that Tony was describing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good bit. It's a very good bit. Also, I also skipped the Gun Devil.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's right.
Basically one of the more important devils throughout the entire series. Essentially, in America, people just got so fucked up and scared over guns and terrorism that the Gun Devil became uber immense, super strong, and went across the planet and fucking killed like over like a fucking million people within the span of like 10 minutes across the entire planet by like just flying and shooting the fuck out of people.
Yeah, imagine just
the
like
ultimate drive-by.
Yeah. Imagine Denji, what he looks like in his
make sure none of your kids grow.
Imagine what he looks like in his Chainsaw Man form, but imagine him, instead of a chainsaw, it's just the barrel of a gun on his head.
He's like the most Digimon-ass looking like super monster I've ever seen in my life, and it's sick as fuck.
What?
He's like a Digimon and a Shin Megami Tensei devil, like, mixed together.
I don't think they'd get that reference. I don't know about the Digimon one, but I don't know about the Shin Megami
Digital
Tensei
monsters,
one.
Digimon are the champions. I get it.
Yeah, but
there's one person that's watching this video that does get it, and that's for them.
James, it's a literal.
That there's one person watching this video.
James, it's a literal gun. It's just a guy with a gun for a head.
And also 10 million guns sticking out of his body and arms.
Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy, actually.
One of the families that the Gun Devil killed was Aki's family, which is the motivation for Aki and why he joined the public sector. He's real pissed about it. Real fucking pissed. We'll get into Aki in a bit, in more detail. But essentially, like I said, so the manga has been going by at a pretty nice clip. We've gone through like a couple small arcs. And then Makima gets into a bus.
Oh my god. Yeah, Makima gets into a bus.
Kobeni and dude guy that was in the
No,
hotel with
Makima
them.
gets into a train.
Sure, whatever. Transportation. Whatever, fuck you.
Gets into a train.
Anyway, Kobeni and dude guy are helping an old lady cross the street. Denji is drinking with Aki and I forgot Eye Patch Girl's name already again.
Perfect.
My bad.
Power. Makima. Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Woman.
Ghost Girl. Anyway, so her and I also believe who else is there? Power might have been there. I don't remember off the top of my head. All at the same time, Makima is shot in the back of the head. Dude guy from apartment gets blasted by the old lady who is like a shooter in disguise. Ghost Girl gets like murked in the battle in a battle that starts at the bar. And then Aki loses like 10 to 12 years of his life using a sword. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
So Aki's like kind of has multiple contracts with or a bunch of devils. We'll meet the devil later on that gave him this sword, but essentially every time he unsheaths and uses it, it removes years of his life.
So, yep, there's 12 right then and there. And this chapter ends with literally every character you ever met from, like, the beginning, like, presumably just dead. Dead as hell. Dead as hell once more. Once again.
And then the very next chapter, Makima walks out of the train. Makima then walks to the public sector unit, has 12 convicts all gagged and bound and on their knees in front of the public sector unit, then one at a time like undoes their like eye and like mouth gag and has them read a name, and then they like slump and fall over, and then a giant hand from the sky comes and crushes down each assassin per prisoner. She then goes and then goes to the Yakuza and has her give her the names of all of the people related to the like attack that had just happened. And the way that she gets this information after they're like, you're fucking right, like we're gonna help you do this, she then has just a brown paper sack filled with all of the family's eyeballs of all of the Yakuza, like, lead head members, and tells them, hey, we have a devil who can put all of these eyes back. But, hey, we got the eyes right now.
So, James, remember when I told you there are fates worse than the ball peen hammer to the nuts?
Yeah.
This is one of them. This is one of the fates that were worse.
The Sky
than that.
Crush is pretty fucking bad. The eyes are also terrible.
So
I think the Sky Crush is worse, dude.
What James doesn't tell you, or what Tony failed to describe in detail, was that these were okay. So like Makima comes out into the place. They're at a shrine. They're at like a Japanese Shinto shrine essentially, and there are 12 death row convicts. And there are 2 workers that are helping her out. They have to, because Makima's powers are so top secret, they have to blind themselves. They have to put blinds on themselves. And so every time Makima like makes these death row inmates say something, they get sacrificed to a devil. Like they slump over and their souls are being like eaten by a fucking devil.
And then the Sky Crush happens.
Yeah. And the fucking Skies Crush happens. And it'll literally, like, in the manga, it cuts to a Yakuza member just getting squashed.
And it's
Like,
like it's
there's
like
blood
gravity
everywhere.
crush.
Yeah.
Like your entire body is being smushed down into the concrete.
Dude, I'll say it. I'll fucking say it right now.
I ain't taking a hammer to the balls, bro. Just kill me.
Like, I'm sure there's a hammer demon out there, but unfortunately Makima is not friends with the hammer demon.
No, it's not a hammer demon because I'm not scared of hammers. I'm scared of hammer to ball demon. So unless there's
It's ball crush.
unless there's a testicle on the end of that hammer, it ain't gonna freak me out.
It's ball crushing hammer demon, man. But yeah, it is probably like it feels like a turning point in the series.
So
like,
I was, as a little backstory, I was reading the manga about up to the point where they were in the apartment complex. That's about where I started.
okay.
And I'm live reading and telling Matthew about, oh, yo, bro, Chainsaw Man's fucking sick. You should start reading it. And he's like, nah, I'll wait until the end. Which, that's fair. Good for you. Good for you.
I got all of it.
I got to do, in real time, watch everybody start to turn on Makima. Whereas when I first saw her, I was like, nah, dude, this bitch is sus.
It is one of the first instances in the manga where it's like, oh, that's not a good guy power. That's just not a good guy power. Like, no good person is written with a with a superpower that like effectively sacrifices people to crush people. Like, that's not a good guy power.
Okay, so she gets the information from the Yakuza through her extortion, and they invade the... I forgot to mention the two people that even did the attack, the main people, is the Katana Devil, who has a similar, he has the similar change ability to Denji.
James, it's just Chainsaw Man, but he's got swords instead of chainsaws.
Exactly.
So
they
he's
have
the
a
sword
very...
man.
Yes, he is here's an image of him. It's in the Discord. He is just a man.
However,
with,
he is
swords.
specifically the Katana Devil because there is a Sword Devil later on.
Yeah, there is. But yeah.
But anyway, they have a conversation, by the way, at the first time they meet at the bar, where the Katana Devil, is like, hey, Denji, you know, and he's like, who the fuck are you? And he just starts, having this, one-sided conversation with Denji, where he's like, you know, my grandpa was this really fucking cool and awesome guy, and, you know, sure, he had to do some bad things, but he always tried not to, you know, kill dogs or dogs or women or people or kids. And then he shows him a picture of the fucking guy who put him in debt from the first chapter. And he starts, and Denji's like, what the fuck?
Basically.
He's like, what the fuck? And tries to explain, that fucking dude basically put me in slavery and sold his soul to the zombie devil for power. How good of a guy could he have been? Which brings up a very interesting comment from the Katana Devil man, where he both says, what are you talking about? And what is a zombie?
That's right.
So just keep that in the back of your mind for a while. This is not going to come up. This is when this was dropped, most people missed this, and only when things later on in the manga happened, in retrospect, reading back, you're like, oh, this is what the fuck he meant. Holy shit.
Right.
So, but that was the first time that they, whenever they fucking killed everybody and got away, essentially. And the Snake Devil stole the ghost devil also at the same time as killing the eye patch chick.
Not eye patch chick. She's my favorite waifu, even though I don't remember her name.
Time. They did a good like bait and switch there where they were going like, so they had like Denji almost sleep with her, but then they were gonna like, she was basically like, let's make a deal where we both try to get ourselves together with the people that we want to be. She's attracted to Aki and he's attracted to Makima.
You forget, before that, she threw up in his mouth.
No. Yes. No.
Why is
Yeah,
it
there's
when you're explaining the fucking story?
Yes.
Which, by the way, I've caught literally zero of this, and all these events have not made sense to me. What the fuck ever.
You'll have to go back through. You can watch it.
But then you guys throw in some shit where it's like, just to prove that I'm still paying attention, you throw in some weird shit like, oh, also, she fucking vomited in his mouth. Oh,
Okay,
by
so
the way,
explain that.
this guy
They were
gets
drinking-
crushed to death.
Okay, so what's happening right now is that Tony's explaining the overarching story. These are small details within the story that happened.
Oh yeah,
that
no,
like we at no point would be able to get back to.
I'm
Yeah.
aware, but I feel like I'm gonna end this podcast being just as ignorant about Chainsaw Man as I was going in. Only
That's
now
fine.
I'm gonna have 10 times more confusion because
That's
this
fine.
seems like a fucking fever dream that I'm listening to.
It is. So mind you, like,
you ain't seen nothing yet.
side note, I read all of the 100 chapters in literally a week. So like I was blazing through this and it did feel like a fever dream reading this. It was only in retrospect after I like sat down and really thought about it that it made any sense. But you'd have to read the manga. But like if you're not gonna do that, then like
This is perfect then.
yeah,
this is what
like
will
this
get
is
you
the
to
speed
read
run.
the manga.
This is the speed run of like the Chainsaw Man manga.
Exactly. I'll start to pick it up from here. We're already like about halfway through though. Anyway,
Yeah, this is about
we're
like
about
what
chapter
like
40-ish.
yeah, it was
45.
like 40, 45-ish around then.
So, but yes, she puked in Denji's mouth. They were drinking at a party after the whole apartment fiasco, where like Denji was basically like talking about how his dream was to get his like first kiss, not like his dream, but like his next goal, I guess. And he was like
Right.
thinking that out loud. Which then caused Eye Patch Girl to then drunkenly make out with him. However, she then pukes in his mouth because she's all fucking drunk as shit. Which
Alright.
then once again sours his like views on relationships, which is then rekindled once again by Makima, who gives him a lollipop that she was fucking sucking on, and he's like, ooh, the sexual tension.
James, here's a picture of that scene. It's in the Discord.
Yeah.
Why is his tongue out? Why is his eyes face different directions?
Because literally the scene before it, he's like, oh, dude, I'm getting some tongue.
Delete it.
And
fucking delete it.
here's the scene right before that.
Oh yeah, show him the scene of oh, you're gonna make out with someone? Hell no! Oh, but I thought you were gonna make out with me. Hell yeah!
Oh no, I'll show that to him later. I'll show that to him in a bit. I just want him to see the puke scene.
I just wanted to look at puke.
I know James. Like I said, I went to college with him. I know what he's like.
He may be a
going.
golden god Adonis that's, Chad Thundercock, but he does have a puke fetish.
Yeah, he does.
On the
Anyways,
record.
where are we at in this story right now?
We are on the re-invasion at this point. So, Makima knows where they are. At this point, Denji has had like a small training arc in between these two times in between the time of Makima gathering this information with other best character, Master Kashibe, who is just a crazy dude. And literally his entire philosophy is that if you aren't, like, at least have, like, a screw loose, then you can't make it in the public sector. Like, if you're too normal, you're either going to, like, care too much, or it's going to, like, you're just not going to be able to, like, do the things you got to do sometimes when it
Yeah,
when
you're
hunting
either
demons.
his philosophy is you're crazy, because if you're not, you're either dead or you, like, fail out. You flunk out of the public safety.
Yeah, you go to the private sector or you just leave.
All right.
But so Kishibe basically just trains Denji and Power on, like, making plans than, like, actually, like, physical training, like push-ups and fucking sit-ups and shit. So like, the Denji and Power have, like, pretty interesting, like, conjunction things that they can, like, work with each other. Power has, like, cool moves where she can manipulate blood from, like, either her own body or, like, it's so I'm assuming she can't, like, blood bend people. I'm assuming, like, she has to, like, use her own blood, but if it's outside of her body, then she could use it as well. Because she has, like, this thing where she, like, put, like, her blood in a water bottle, and, like, they, like, set it up to where they were, like, going to attack Kishibe, because that's basically how he was training them, where if you could kill me, then you can kill any demon, because I'm the best and the coolest and craziest dude. So if you can beat me, you're fucking golden.
Yeah, it's like, if we can beat up James, we can beat up anybody in the world.
Exactly.
Because James is the strongest person in this podcast right now.
He has the world record for the power lift, fun fact.
Yeah.
One-handed.
Yeah. Strongest man in this podcast right now.
With his dick.
Keep going. Keep going. It's a bad bit. It's a terrible bit. Keep going.
It's a great bit.
Keep going.
So... Fuck, I lost where I was at.
We are at Kishibe.
Kishibe was like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, if you can kill me, then you can kill anybody. So how he's training him is basically to outsmart him. So, like, for instance, when he, like, shows up to, like, greet them at their door, like, Power has, like, water bottles set up to where, like, they'll shoot out spikes on top of him, which, like, he, like, dodges back from, but Denji is, like, already waiting outside for him with, like, an axe to try and, like, behead him, quote-unquote behead him. But
No.
Kishibe is, an anime character and, like, a master martial artist, so, he can see that 360 shit. And
Just
he's
overall
good.
crazy person. That's
He's
it.
overall good. Yeah. But he does compliment him on that specific event, and he's like, you guys are good for the rest of the day, and he, like, walks away, and then pretends like he leaves, and then attacks them again.
Be like that.
But, so then we're now on the invasion of, the Snake and Katana Devil. Denji and the Katana Devil have, like, a big sicko mode fight where, Denji learns how to use or, like, pop chainsaws out of his legs because the Katana Devil cut his arms off, and then he beheads the Katana Devil with his chainsaw leg.
You gotta figure it out
Kick.
somehow, man.
It's pretty sick. Aki kills the Snake Devil, or no, he doesn't kill the Snake Devil, but he gets, like, when fighting the Snake Devil, she throws the Ghost Devil back at him, and, like, that she stole from earlier. Would you like to say this, Matthew, since this is your favorite scene?
The Ghost Devil, which I think is a girl per se? I don't know.
I mean, do devils have genders?
Yeah, I guess not, but she, like, the Ghost Devil takes on the appearance of an old, like, woman with a stitched up mouth. It's fucked up. Anyways.
And she's got, like, limbs. She looks like a fucking Bloodborne boss.
Yeah, she's fucking... The Ghost Devil's fucking horrific, and for its namesake, yeah, I get it. But, like, the Ghost Devil has multiple hands, gives gives him like a cigarette from the eye patch girl, and on the cigarette it says "Easy Revenge," and the Ghost Devil just kind of stops fighting, and it allows him to come up and just behead the Ghost Devil, and it's a really good fucking scene. I love
you
that
should
scene so
mention
much.
the relation of cigarettes to Aki.
Well, like Aki was like what is it? It was the student of the eye patch girls, so there's like a really like big like bonding thing there.
They were more
going on.
partners, I would say, than like.
Well, like
students. Because
like
remember, she's like, oh well, all of my partners either die or like immediately retire. So
Right. But
and
like
I think that's why she had such an attachment to Aki.
yeah,
Though,
but she also wanted to sleep with Aki too. So I mean,
well, yeah,
like
that's why I'm saying it would be better if it was a partner relationship than like a master-student relationship.
all right, whatever. Just keep going. Where are we? We killed the ghost. He kills the Ghost Devil. That's it. There it
And
is.
then they capture the Snake Devil because they're trying to find out okay.
How are they getting guns?
How are they getting guns?
Because in
Exactly.
Japan, you can't have a gun. Can you believe that, James? Japan is like Chicago. It's like where you used to live at. You can't have a gun.
Well, actually, in this world, that's the other difference in this world, is that because of the prevalence of the gun devil, basically guns are illegal everywhere, due to the mass hysteria and fear pertaining to them.
Imagine that, James. Everywhere in the world is like Chicago.
What a hell.
How does that feel, James? I guess James is
he's
just dead.
Yeah, dude, I'm
Yeah,
dead,
James.
bro.
How does that make you feel, James,
in the
that every
Chicago
place
hell world.
in the world is just like Chicago?
That every
Hell,
what?
bro. Every place in the world of Chainsaw Man is Chicago. You can't get a gun, and it's just a hell world all around.
I mean, fuck.
That's how James became so powerful, is because he lives in Chicago. Anyways, keep going, Tony. Keep going.
All right. They can't. How are they getting guns? Another thing is that like when the gun devil flew across the planet, he was like flying so fucking fast that just pieces of him were like flying off. At least that's the official story we're given at this point. We'll get into that later. They are able to reclaim like I think it's like 5 or 6 pounds of the gun devil from this like invasion. And also whenever you accumulate like a giant mass of the gun devil, allegedly you're like easier able to find him because it's like magnetized to him essentially.
Yeah, it follows him, essentially.
Yeah.
Like the mass will become so big that you can't like particularly like keep it enclosed in a spot.
Yeah. So they're able to get all of that. However, we are now in the like quote unquote cool down slow arc quote unquote of Chainsaw Man. The Rize arc. So after all of these events, Denji is afforded basically like 2-3 weeks off or whatever.
Just to hang out.
Or at least that's how I interpret it. That's probably not actually true, but
I mean,
that's
like,
how
I don't think-
interpret it.
I think it's that nothing happens. Right?
Basically,
like, nothing is
yeah.
happening. They're just on patrol. Like they go on patrol and stuff like that. And at this point,
Shit's happening in the background, but for the most part, with Denji, he's basically solo in this arc.
and this is also the arc that Sasuke gets a new devil partner too.
Yes. So during the first fight with the Katana Devil and the Snake Devil, whenever they fucking killed everybody, Aki tried to get him to eat the Katana Devil. He tried to get the fox. I'm really tired of saying devil now at this point, so I'm just gonna say the first word. Bear with me on that one, please.
Fuck it.
So he used Fox to eat the katana, and he fucking like got sick and like spat him back out. It was like, I don't know what the fuck this guy is, but but I'm pissed off that you made me eat him. And so he like canceled the contract with Aki essentially because he now finds him disgusting.
Not a handsome young lad.
And no longer as handsome.
Exactly.
So Aki now has to make a new contract with who then becomes, what the fuck? Jesus. Sorry, the Discord just shat itself a second there. So Aki goes and makes a new contract with the Future Devil, who is a super rad and cool dude. He just hangs out in like a warehouse, it feels like, with like a bunch of other devils that the
they hang out like underneath
has.
they hang out underneath the facility in like a supermax prison for devils essentially.
It's basically the SCP Foundation.
Yeah, but like the devils can just escape whenever they want. They choose to be there essentially.
For the most part.
Like.
Yeah. The that or like they've come to terms with making contracts with humans in order to kill other demons or do whatever.
I mean, like, as you'll probably explain, maybe just for shits and giggles, honestly. Just like to see people horrifically fucked up.
For instance, the Future Devil just makes a contract with Aki because he sees that Aki is going to die in the most horrific way possible, and he just wants to be there when it happens.
Dude, the Future Devil is rad as hell. Like
he literally T-poses and then announces the future is awesome.
The future rules. Yeah, say it with me, everyone. The future rules.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better. But yeah, so that's what Aki's doing. Aki has like while reading and like following the manga, I would make the joke of the Grim Reaper basically like piggybacking on top of him the entire time. This just adds the extra weights basically on top of his back. But Denji is meets this girl in the rain. It's literally like a picturesque perfect moment. He runs in the fucking toll booth and like does a gag that makes her laugh, and then they go to this coffee shop that she works at, and they start chatting it up, and she's like, hold up, you're like 16 and you've never been to school before? He's like, yeah. She's like, do you even, like, he, like, doesn't know how to read or write or fucking anything. There's that. She's also, like, they start bringing up this metaphor of, like, the country mouse versus the city mouse, but that's, the whatever. Don't worry about it.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're skipping over, like, broad, like themes anyway, so fuck it. Let's go.
Sounds good. She's also like yeah, you like, just because you get like have a bed and have 3 square meals a day, like that's like the bare minimum, dude. But to Denji, this is like, you know, fucking literally God. This is heaven.
It's the best shit ever, man. It's the best shit ever. I don't know what you want. It's the best shit ever.
He was fucking living in like a trailer in like absolute poverty. Like he would like get like 10 cents and be like, oh, hell yeah, we have a piece of bread to eat for today.
Hey man, it'd be like that.
Maybe I'll put some sugar on it, and like maybe that'll be a treat for me. And like, so now when he lives with Aki, he'll like when he eats breakfast, for instance, he'll like make the most monstrous like food concoctions just because he has the available ingredients to use them.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh well, more stuff just makes it more better.
It'd be like that.
For sure. Okay, so he's been chatting it up with this girl. She like invites him out to go out and like sneak into the high school after dark and fuck around. He does. Side note, best character ever, Beam, is introduced at this point, I believe. And also the Angel Devil. Beam
Right.
is, I believe, the Shark Devil.
Oh yeah.
And then Beam is like he's like the like he like calls Chainsawman and Denji his master, and it like seems as if he knows more about Chainsawman than he lets on, and in fact like knows a lot more about what's going on, it seems. However, we'll get into it about him later on. Moving on, Denji sneaks out, goes and fucking hangs out with Reize is her name, the girl.
I love her.
Like, she's pretty good.
I
Waifu
actually
bait.
love her as a character.
She's pretty high waifu material. My personal favorite, of course.
She's the best.
She teaches Denji how to write penis.
Like the word, or
like, yeah, the word.
Yeah.
Like she's basically making fun of him. In like how, because he doesn't know how to read or write.
Well, they also what is it? They also go and swim.
Oh yeah, and you see like a fully nearly naked girl in Shonen Jump, and you're like, holy shit. Then this is like really when I was saying, how the fuck is this in Shonen Jump?
Yeah. Mind you, Shonen Jump is more aimed for like a young adult audience, maybe like 13 to like what, 18 years of age?
Yeah, 18 is usually like pushing it, but like I guess nowadays it's a little different because like One Piece fans, for instance, have to be of a certain like age.
I mean, they were like 13 when the series started anyways, so like...
Sure, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
In order to get other like people to keep like you know, to buy the magazine for something besides One Piece, you might want to throw something in there for them too.
Right. And Chainsaw Man really
that.
showed that like it was really pushing the limits.
To the point where there's a chapter that's like not banned, but like is only available on their website because of a certain scene that occurs, which is kind of bullshit in my opinion, and we'll get into that. But like,
I mean,
whatever.
okay. Okay. Go on. Go on.
So they have their naked they're naked swimming, and unfortunately they get rained out of it. Unfortunately, quote unquote. And Denji goes back inside and is like waiting for Reize to come back. She like goes to the bathroom, and as she's going to the bathroom, this fucking dude who has a contract with the
Typhoon Devil, right?
Yes, Typhoon Devil, shows up at the school like looking for Denji, and is he has like this whole convoluted like almost like comedically like verbose backstory where he talks about how like, oh, I kidnap people, and then I'll whenever I make deals with people, they usually do what I want whenever I fucking kidnap their loved ones and like you know, maim them.
He's essentially built up to be like basically a child, like, or not a child, but basically a horrible like torture type esque murderer, like serial murderer, and then he just eats it like a bag of dicks.
Yeah, and then Reize literally like she puts him in a rear naked choke and then starts saying some Russian gobbledygook and chokes him out and kills him. And then the Typhoon Devil is like, oh shit. I didn't know you were here, bitch. I'm out.
Well, like he calls her like Lord or something. Like he calls her like a really formal name.
Well,
is the thing.
I'll get into it in a second, but there's a reason for that.
Right.
Denji is like then leave or like Denji is completely unknowing of all of this happening. By the way, this is all happening on like the roof, and she just like returns like as if nothing happened. And then they just carry on. They go to a big like sunset like not like a vineyard but like cliffside, and like they have like a moment. Denji kisses her, slips her the tongue, and then she bites off the fucking end of his tongue.
What the fuck? Why?
Because she's actually a bad guy, bro.
What the fuck?
She then pulls like a thing on her neck, and her head explodes, and she becomes the bomb devil, and has like and she's like turns into like this like sexy like bomb-headed lady devil thing.
It's the bomb devil.
And she starts blowing shit up. It's super
People
hard.
are also scared of explosives too.
What?
Don't forget
I
that,
mean,
James.
And
People
so the
are
bomb
scared
devil,
of exploding things.
yeah, and so the bomb devil works is like a close associate with the gun devil, and that is why basically they were working together. And that's why, like, the Typhoon Devil was like, oh, Master, or whatever the fuck he called her.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. The Bomb Devil. But she's great.
No,
I
she
love
starts blowing shit up. It's super sick. Denji's caught, blindsided by it. But kind of just takes it, like, and, like, just kind of goes with it. He's just like, okay, well, this is the fucking situation. Like, he never has, like, a moment, really, where he's like, oh, I was betrayed.
No. He literally
fact,
just rolls with it.
And in fact, yes. They fight. Like, Denji manages to get to, like, like, not, like, the main public hunter, like, headquarters building, but, like, a side one, I think. Where, like, all of those dudes just get fucking nuked by her.
Dude, they eat it so hard. It turns out that no one lives.
And then she starts, like, working with the Typhoon Devil and, like, blowing shit up in town.
What the fuck?
And then Denji. So Beam is like, hey, Denji, you know, Chainsaw Man used to be able to, like, swing around with his chains. And, like, the wording of it is, like, specifically that. And, like, implying that he knew, like, the previous Chainsaw Man. Or, like, the previous Chainsaw Devil. Yeah, that's probably the better way to describe it. There is no previous Chainsaw Man. There's just the Chainsaw Devil, and then now Chainsaw Man, I guess, is the better way to put it.
Right.
Whatever. Any semantics. Once again, this is for the nerds. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
So he says to do that and, like, swing around with his chains, and instead Denji just, like, uses his chains as, like, reins on Beam and forces him to, like, and he, like, rides around on him.
Right.
And, like, surfs on the sides of, like, fucking buildings with them. It's pretty fucking sick. They have a big sicko mode fight. And then Denji eventually, like, clasps the chains around the Bomb Devil, and they, like, fall into the ocean so that she can't, like, combust anymore. And, like, once eventually they, like, wash back up on the shore, and Denji, like, gives her the option to be like, yo, I'll run away with you, like, right now if you really want to. I mean, you're pretty fucking hot, dude.
That's basically what happens.
I mean, it's not like he knows her.
That's basically what happens. Yeah.
But yeah, he gives her the option to run away, and she like laughs at him, and she's like, "Every single thing I did was fully calculated to try and get you to like to trick you and fuck you over," and like she like runs away, but then like, eventually she does try to show up to the cafe where like Denji's like, "Oh, meet me here if you want to run away with me." However, the bitch Makima shows up in fucking in like a mound of rats, I believe.
Yeah, it is like
And is like, "Gotcha, bitch."
it is just basically like a colony of like rats, and like she just materializes out of the rats.
And is essentially like, "Gotcha, bitch," and murks her, unfortunately.
Straight up murders her. It's a good time.
Yeah, I don't remember at what point we learn her backstory, Reze's backstory, but essentially she was like a Russian agent that like as a child they like mixed devil with her essentially. and then at some point she escaped.
This is what implies that every country in the world is trying
doing
to
this.
basically like weaponize devils, like as the next like nuclear arms race, essentially.
And at this point, yes, the devils are starting to become UMDs or WMDs. I mean,
Imagine that, James. Instead of like you being an engineer working on like military stuff, you work on devils. How does that make you feel? That you went to school just to work on devils?
I don't understand what's going on.
It's okay. We're almost,
like I said, you can listen back.
bro. We're almost to the end, anyways. We're pretty close.
So they go
the
to
end. There's,
college
like, what,
to study how to make devils. Sorry, how to like
Yeah.
refine devils.
Essentially, yeah.
It's not clear how top secret that stuff is. It's pretty top secret.
I mean, the thing is like, it seems like the public sector knows, and like every government official knows.
No, not all the public sector knows. Only Makima and like maybe Kishibe know. That's only because of things that we'll learn about Kishibe later.
Well, he's a monster. Anyways.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's the smartest, coolest, and
Mind you,
and
he's not a
craziest
devil.
dude.
He's just a crazy man.
He's just a dude. Yeah, so is Kobeni. Kobeni is also just like a chick, and at one point during the like, I believe it was the first invade, like whenever everybody gets fucking killed, she like does this like monkey mode shit that like you basically never see again for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and like, her character motivation is that she wants money.
She wants money because her family is hyper overbearing and like soul crushing to the point where like she is supporting like 8 family members and like despite being the only like breadwinner and also being the child.
She also has a car though. She gets a car.
She does have a car.
Jesus
For a
fucking
little while.
Christ, dude. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
No one is happy in Chainsaw Man. You're either dead or you're crazy. That's really the gist of like Chainsaw Man.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. I was gonna say that doesn't necessarily mean you're unhappy if you're crazy.
No.
If
but
anything, that might improve your mood to a certain degree.
you're probably like halfway to being dead though by the time you realize you're happy.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you're like Aki and you have the fucking
Future devil.
the soul death blade.
The future is now, and the future rules. Anyways, keep going. We're at an hour and a half, dog.
I know.
This is probably
I
gonna be the
repeat,
longest
I'm the one
podcast
who
ever.
edits these.
Yeah, I know. It's just still keep going.
Okay. Anyway, so Denji is not aware of Reze's slaying. Makima basically was just following him and had like eyes on him the whole time in the entire situation. And basically, basically that's the ending of the arc, I think.
Yeah,
I can't,
that's the base. That's the gist of that arc.
yeah, like not a lot of like involvement from like Aki and Power in it. To be honest, I guess
No.
that's partly why so many people call it the slow arc, quote unquote.
Well, yeah, because Aki is off doing his own thing with Devils, and I think Power is just hanging out the whole entire time.
I mean, that's how it kind of feels at the very
Question
least.
mark. Anyways, keep going.
So, at this point, James, if you thought that you weren't following before, good luck, bro.
Fuck.
So, unfortunately, after the giant battle with the Bomb Devil, in the city, it has caused a lot of recognition around the world for Chainsaw Man. Which is now causing a lot of assassins to be hired by, it seems, the Gun Devil. And this is where we find out all you have to do to make a contract with the Gun Devil is $200 hard cash, baby.
Yeah.
And you get an untraceable gun and I think 1 or 2 clips worth of bullets.
Which, mind you, the setting is in Japan, where Japan is like Chicago. You can't get a gun.
Well, remember, the whole world isn't allowed to have guns.
That's right.
It's fully untraceable.
The whole world is Japan. But the whole world is also... Japan is also Chicago.
But you essentially need a mediator between you and the Gun Devil. Is
right.
really the idea. So the Snake Devil that was like fucking going around earlier was working with that. And when they caught her, she like did this thing, like a cyanide pill kill yourself thing, before they could get any information from her. So at this point, though, a bunch of like hitmen across the planet have been hired by the Gun Devil to go and fucking murk Denji.
Right.
Of
course.
What ensues is like a like mass comedy of errors on basically everyone's part, hitmen and like our characters included. Where like like I'm trying to figure out the best way to like set this up fully, but there are like 3 brothers from America who all survived the Gun Devil event where he like flew around the planet, and so they all like think that they're immortal, and they like have this they have a contract with like the Face Devil where they can like change their faces and like go and have like virtually perfect disguises. There's
I did not realize that was their devil contract. I just thought they were just fucking idiots. The trio were just dumb. They were all 3 dumb
That's fair.
idiots.
That is fair. They are literally the 3 Stooges, basically. There's those guys. There's Quan Chi and her harem of devil girls.
And this
So,
is
this is the band chapter.
This is the band chapter.
So one of the chapters that like feature her like I think like right whenever she's being introduced, she's having like a lesbian threesome with.
No, she's having an orgy because there's more than 3 of them.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess an orgy.
What?
She's quite
the
literally
fuck?
like quite literally the opening panel, like the start of the chapter is just like a bunch of like I think the introduction, like the ending introduction for a chapter is like, I'm gonna wreck you girls until you can't walk. And then the next chapter is literally her in bed with all of these naked like devil girls.
Wait, like actual just porn.
Yeah, essentially.
Christ.
In my young boys manga.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's the band chapter. She has like 4 of them. There's Halloween.
God damn it, Halloween.
Halloween's
Here's the scene,
honestly
by
the
the way.
most important one.
Here's the scene. I'm
Absolutely
I'm sending
fucking
you.
regrettable.
And here is the full page spread of that. This is for obvious reasons. We're probably not Tony, don't put this in the fucking...
Dude, I would literally
censor it.
rather have a fucking like group watch party with my entire family and just violent gay pornography than what you have just sent in this Discord chat.
I think you're being a bit hyperbolic, but sure.
No, I just don't like anime, bro.
Oh no. Okay. Well, let's pause. All right, I'm going still.
Bro, you act like I know what the fuck is going on. Okay,
Bro,
perfect.
no one can hear you, Matthew. No one can hear you. That's okay. Whatever. All right. Okay. Fucking. So the lesbian orgy. Sorry about that intermission, folks.
Perfect.
Matthew's recording fucked up. Lesbian orgy. So she is we'll later on find this out, but it really doesn't matter for earlier shit. Is that she was essentially like the first devil man that like they really are aware of, which kind of also implies that she's like super old. Or, like, Devil Hunter, yeah, I think is what it's actually called. Are you back recording, Matthew? Okay, well, then stop talking. You're not allowed to talk until you're recording, Matthew. Anyway, so, I only remember Halloween, to be honest, of her cabal of girls, but that's because she's the most important, to be honest. Anyway... There's that group of assassins, and then the last group that I can remember off the top of my head is the Santa Claus, which you're gonna love this, James. So when we first meet Santa Claus, he's like this old man sitting on a bench and is being given the contract to go kill Denji, and he's like,
What Santa Claus?
This is his description. He's essentially this is what they call him. He's what's the German evil Krampus? He's essentially Krampus.
Adolf. You said German. You said German evil, bro. You got to be more specific.
Sure, I'll give you that one. Anyway. He's sitting on a bench talking to this guy giving him the contract to go kill Denji. And he fucking, he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna need 4 kids. 3 for business and 1 for pleasure.
What the absolute fuck?
It's interpreted that this is due to how his, like, devil works, is that he, like, has to
fuck kids,
do, like, weird sacrifices in order to, like, he's, like, basically, like, a horror crux, where his, like, soul is, like, split across, like, fucking a bunch of different people, essentially. But yeah. And then that's essentially, and then the kids are either used as sacrifices in order to, like, contact other devils, or to incorporate in his own devil. Anyway, so these 3 groups are all, like, converging onto Denji, unbeknownst to each other. And then Denji is completely unaware of this, except for the fact that, like, Makima essentially brings to his attention that, like, yeah, now that you're, like, remotely famous, you're going to, like, people are going to start, like, targeting you, essentially. Which they do. It begins with the 3 face brothers.
Oh, give me a second. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Sinking. Clap. All right, I'm back in this bitch.
Oh my god, he's finally
I'm
returned
back.
from the depths of...
I just want to say, Santa Claus is literally one of the most horrific, like, devils you probably meet, just because of, like, pretty horrific. One of the, like, most horrific ones. Also,
I haven't even gotten into all of it yet.
Quinax is pretty cool. I love her.
Quan Chi.
Whatever.
It's a Chinese name, bro.
Whatever her fucking name is. Like literally none of the doubles in her harem can speak.
That's not true.
Like one of the doubles can speak fluent
like
English.
2 or 3 of them can.
Another one can only say Halloween. That's why she's called Halloween. And
we'll
her
find out
whole
why.
character motivation at the moment, the reason why she takes this job is because she wants like her devils, like her harem, to basically have like to be humans.
Like human rights. And to be like taught like
how to read and
be
write.
like taught in a school and like yeah.
Anyways, go on.
So this whole shenanigans begin with the three-faced brothers. So they're all getting each other hyped up like super hard, and 2 of them. It's one of them. One of them shows up at first. I think it happens one at a time for each of them. But one of them like shows up as a different character that they had killed earlier, like that had been not important, but like has been a face that you've seen commonly around, and like a character that like has had some speaking roles throughout the story. They kill him and replace him with one of the brothers, and he like shows up, and he's like trying to chat up, and like right before this they like set it up to where they were like, oh, you gotta be like talking in his dialect and like making sure that you aren't like fucking up and like talking and like saying weird shit that would like blow our cover. And then Power sees that Kobeni got a new car.
Yup.
And proceeds to then get behind the driver's wheel with Kobeni in the passenger seat. And then just fucking floors it and hits the guy, one of the hitmen brothers, that is like that's in the disguise, and like they hit him. Power leaves the car and tells, and like the whole time she was like, "This is my car. This is watch it me. I have a driver's license. I can do this." And after she hits him, she gets like all silent, looks at Kobeni and says, "This is your car. I wasn't driving." And then walks out. But then they see that
James, mind you, this is like the equivalent of like when Seb is losing in a game and he starts to blame us for like reading the rules. This is literally what like
Good.
Power is doing. Power is kind of Seb.
So
that would be good for the people on the podcast who have no fucking idea what that means.
It's okay. We've referenced him before.
Yeah, he'll be the ghost member.
He's here in spirit.
They see that the guy's like face changes back to the hitman's, and then Power exclaims, "Ah, yes, this was all part of my plan."
Incredible.
But yeah, from that point, Santa Claus then starts attacking them, and like there's this whole like weird nail convoluted thing where like she has to like poke Denji 3 times with a nail. By the way, there's like 3 different people that are Santa Claus. There's like an old man, like a mom-aged lady, like a 30-year-old woman.
A MILF.
A MILF, sure. And then like a 20-something-year-old dude. And essentially, once this dude like jabs the Denji like 3 times, he will be used as like a sacrifice in order to send Denji to the to hell.
Basically.
Basically,
and
just and open up the hell realm.
Essentially, yeah.
Which he eventually does. There's this other power that he has where like if he touches like regular people or anybody, I guess. It's not really clear to a certain degree. Like, they basically become, like, mindless automatons that are attached to, like, the Horcrux thing.
Well, they become dolls, essentially,
Yeah.
is what they become. Like, they literally have, like, the whole, like, the doll feature. Like, they have, like, lines in their mouth and shit. They look like ventriloquist dummies, essentially. And they move like ventriloquist dummies,
Sure.
is what happens. They click, too, I think.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes,
and-
of course. Go on.
And then they give you the arbitrary, don't worry, Denji, they aren't people anymore. They can't go back to being alive.
It turns out they can go back, and they can retain consciousness.
But whatever.
Because there is a scene where Santa Claus is like, oh, is that what you think? And he makes a ton of people, as they're running at Denji, start like being like panicking and talking shit, and then Denji just cuts them in half. And it's like,
That is true. That is true.
It's like, oh.
However, they managed to send Denji and crew to Hell, which is a super sick place. It's like a giant grassy knoll field, and then the sky is completely like laid out with doors. And like each door opens up to like a different place is like the idea. And once they get there, all of the demons that are like in the group, or like the devil men that are in the group besides Denji, are like shitting their pants. Because they're like, oh fuck no, oh no. And then they start hearing a noise. And they're like, oh no, time to double shit my pants.
And they meet arguably the coolest devil.
So the Darkness Devil emerges from the sky out of a door and like drops down like a puddle, and then everything goes black around him, and fucking astronauts line like a red carpet line where they're like cut in half, and like they're like each side of them are like making this like hallway basically for,
There's an image in the
for
Discord for you,
Skywalk.
James, and Tony will throw up the image in the
Absolutely.
video.
I think it's my favorite image from Chainsawman,
It is
personally.
lore-wise, I believe the astronauts are supposed to represent all the astronauts that were killed in the outer reaches, like the outer darkness
Yeah.
of space.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, allegedly the amount of astronauts that are there are like the amount that have died in space. It's like, that's pretty fucking sick.
And all of them are
Pretty
like
metal.
basically paying their respects to the Darkness Devil.
Yeah, no, it's pretty sick. He literally just like walks over to them, and then all of their arms fly off of their bodies. Like, not even like grotesquely, they just like pop right off and like start floating up.
Yeah, like, Makuma's like, don't panic, someone can help us reattach these, essentially, is what happens.
And that's not even fully true.
No, it's not, but that's literally what happens, is like, if they start to panic a little bit, and Makuma's like, no panic.
Oh,
We
I
can
wonder
reattach
why.
these. We can reattach this.
Yeah, so Makima essentially makes like a contract with I think it's the same devil that sent them there, actually. And then like sacrifices the dude that sent them there, I believe, and then they basically return and start fighting the Santa Claus again, who is now like made a deal with the Darkness Devil and is like being empowered by the literal shadows of night. But then Denji has the 1000% IQ plan of, well, if I just set myself on fire, there can't be any darkness around me.
And
And it
For sure.
kind of works.
unfortunately, yes, it does kind of work. It does kind of work. Right. But yeah, Santa Claus at this point is a horrific amalgamation of different body parts, essentially, from all of her victims.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And she's like talking mad shit the whole time.
Yes, because before this, it's actually implied that she has like a disease that like makes her frail and weak, essentially.
Yeah.
But like
And
she gets
it's not
powered
clear
up.
if that's the woman or if that's actually Santa Claus.
It's not
I don't
clear if
wanna
it's
get-
the woman,
I don't want to get
the
into that.
old pedophile man, or the 20-year-old dude. Not clear.
No,
Not
the
clear at all.
20-year-old dude wanted to fuck the MILF. That was like his. I think.
That was his whole character arc. Anyways,
Basically.
whatever. Santa Claus, whatever.
Also, during all of this, Quan Chi has been in the background, fucking like going sicko mode, cutting off doll heads, and like she did this thing where she had a fucking power that let her run and fucking like fucking like 1,000 miles per hour sonic speed, cutting off like 30-40 dudes' heads as she like basically got to where all the characters were and then got sent to hell with everybody.
Mind you, she is not the gun devil.
No, she is what we later find out is the bow devil or like
Yes. Or the huntress devil or
the
whatever.
huntress devil.
Essentially. She's the first hunter.
She's Artemis.
Yeah, she's the first hunter. Like her
She's
abilities
horny
consist of
Artemis.
her like having sex with devil girls and shooting out her bones. Essentially, is what happens.
And in
Jesus.
the Tonkabon volumes, there's an extra comic that literally just flat out like shows Kishibe trying to pick up Quan Chi and her flat out telling him she's gay.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Wait, is that good for her? Good for her.
But yeah, so there's that. Yeah, and how they beat the puppet devil essentially is because the puppet devil is like this horror crux thing where like even if they killed this specific thing, they couldn't kill all of them. However, they had the secret anime power in their back pocket with Miss Halloween, where they set her in front of the Halloween girl, the Santa Claus, and she like basically goes into Halloween girl's mind and like meets her in this like infinite library, and she's like sitting in like a nice chair in front of it, and she basically just says, "Here you go. Here's the infinite knowledge of everything in the cosmos. Good luck. The only thing that you'll ever think about is Halloween."
Basically. Like it is it's a really funny scene because up until this point, the girl that just has Halloween is essentially her character's design is just like a zombie like devil. Like her like brain is like sticking out, like an eyeball is just hanging out by the veins and stuff. She looks dumb as bricks is the thing, is what I'm trying to get at.
That said, this was teased as it was going along, where like every now and then when you would see these characters, she would like randomly look at someone and say Halloween, and then they would repeat Halloween back to her, and then they would just like continue on.
Right, but it's just funny. It's just
so this just means she just goes around and mind fucks people for fun, though.
Yeah, she just goes around just like giving them the infinite universe in their heads, and it's just funny.
For like fun. It's just good. I love that.
She's a good character, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah, sure. Yeah, those events happen. So, at this point, everybody's recovering from this fight. Aki
we are finally
has one
in the
arm
end
left.
game. We are in the end game at this point.
Bum bum bum. We are. There's about 30-ish chapters left, but this is all like easy to run through, basically.
Right.
Of course, because the first bit has made so much fucking sense.
Oh, this bit will not make sense to you then if you haven't been following. Good luck.
I've tried my fucking hardest.
Hey man, this is whenever. So I have a thing about Fujimoto that if we ever get into the Fire Punch discussion, I will talk more about, where he will go through a certain point in his manga where like it starts to get more and more metaphysical. And we're
Yeah, tad
starting to
bit.
get to that point.
Tad bit. Go on with the last
Fire
arc.
punch
Let's
way
do it.
more.
Let's hit
Gotcha.
it. Let's hit this last arc hard.
All right, so everyone's recovering. Aki only has one arm. The Angel Devil is fucking chilling. He's still fucked up from hanging out with them in the in hell. The
Unfortunately.
Angel Devil is also the one who gave Aki the sword that like cuts years off of his life when he uses it. He can like make virtually any weapon that he wants, but like every time that he makes it, he has to like announce the amount of years that it like takes off someone's life when you use it. Or whatever.
Yeah, I also thought it was implied that the weapons he made were made out of people too.
Yes, and I mean, the life force that he takes from other people when he touches them. So yes and no.
Right.
I mean, I guess however you want to interpret that.
Whatever. It's we didn't even really discuss his power anyways, so fuck it. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. He's yeah. So Denji's honestly pretty good. He got out of this whole situation without too much like mental scraps, honestly. Power though. Power is real fucked up about this. And also another side note, so the chapter after this, after the Halloween and the ending of that arc was the popularity poll that came out.
Right.
And where Power was number 1, Kobeni was like number 6, and Kobeni's car was number 7.
Hell yeah. I remember that. I remember seeing that.
So there's that, and then proceeding the chapter where Power got the number 1 in the popularity poll, the entire chapter, she is literally in almost every panel, and like she's like naked and like showering with Denji in one part, and like the entire time she's like fully like dead depressed, like she's in like Asuka mode after after the events in Evangelion. Like
Yeah. It's
like
just,
when she's in the bathtub.
yeah. Very, very depressed Power. Very.
She's like terrified of darkness and like shadows because she's scared the darkness demon's gonna like come and fucking snatch him back up again.
To be fair, the Darkness Demon is horrific.
And also we forgot to mention the darkness demon is like one of the primordial evils, which essentially means that they have never died in hell.
Yeah,
And
it's
that their power and influence is so strong that it like reaches out into our world.
yeah, it's just like
We only know about this one.
yeah,
which kinda
unfortunately
sucks.
the author never goes into any more, which just fucking blows. I'd love to see like a water devil being like a primordial evil or some shit like that, or
like
something
the
else.
moon, or like the space,
Right.
Or like something like, or I guess the shadow.
The Darkness Devil would be that because of
Yeah.
the astronauts, obviously. Anyways, yeah, a Primordial Devil is just something so, like, I guess, like, something so essential to the fear of mankind that it cannot be stopped, like, whatsoever.
Okay.
I guess, like,
Pretty sick
Heights would be a Primordial Devil.
Don't
because,
worry.
like,
Don't worry. That makes sense to me.
Right.
Hey,
Um,
yeah, well, there we go. That's one.
Everybody
step.
gets one.
Everyone gets
everybody
one.
gets
There you
one.
go.
So just to clarify, he has a chainsaw coming out of his face, right? Right.
Lauren, what is it?
Absolutely.
Lauren, do you know anything about the Primordial Devil or any questions?
Lauren, do you have any questions about the primordial devil? Here's a check-in with Lauren. No, just speaking to the mic.
I'm just gonna say I've been halfway paying attention to this. I have no idea what the primordial devil is.
Hell
Other
yeah.
than the name.
You'll have a fun time listening.
All
back,
right,
I'm
all
sure.
right, all right. That has been our check-in with Lauren. She does not like
Lauren's-
anime.
Spoiler alert, Lauren is currently working on her Archie lecture that we will be doing in another next episode.
Hey,
Anyways,
that's
keep
the
going.
next one.
That's the next
one.
episode. That's the next episode. Keep going.
Anyway,
This is a 2-hour long podcast already, man. This is
I know,
long as
bro.
hell.
Hold on. I would
repeat,
just
you're
like to
telling
say.
me, bro.
I would just like to say I have a few more options that I would like to discuss with Matthew and Tony and James after the podcast is over.
Absolutely.
About what I should
Spoiler
talk
alert.
about.
Spoiler alert. If the next time you listen and it's not the Archie podcast, that was what the discussion was about.
Ooh.
That was what the discussion was about. Keep going.
Okay. Fuck off. I was letting them talk.
Yeah, keep going.
And I repeat, you're not the one editing this. Anyway, so fucking where were we?
Talking about Power
Pa-
being depressed.
Power's depressed, has an entire chapter dedicated to her.
She's naked too.
Naked to basically we can skip to Aki going on the beach with Makima.
Okay.
So Makima invites Aki and what's his face, the angel devil to meet her after hearing that Aki essentially wants to like pull out him, Denji, and Power like out of the like public sector for their own safety, because at this point he literally has like 2 years left to live, if not less. I think it might even be a few months at this point. But he
Man's about to die. Man's about to die real hard.
Man's about to die. But Makima essentially reveals her cards and shows that, yes, I was the final boss all along. And
That's a fucking turn.
reveals that she is the control devil. So she
James, sorry to
Go
point something out. James, if you look at Makima's character design, she is completely different from everyone's character design. She was a bad guy from the beginning.
her eyes, dude. It was her eyes that tipped me off. But
If it wasn't that, it was the fact that her ability to squash people.
Well, I'm saying even before that. But yeah, fair. At that point, I was 100%. No, this bitch is evil. Like I was on that train immediately.
Evil.
So she reveals that she is the control devil, and fucking takes over Denji's mind and turns him into the devil man with the gun devil. And fucking he like gets this crazy, he looks like no one here is gonna understand this reference, but people in the audience might. He turns into this Tetsuo the Iron Man looking motherfucker.
Oh my
with
god.
With like a fucking M16 for an arm.
Throw up the image. Throw up the image. Just do it now.
I will. It's so sick.
You forget. You failed to mention.
I'm gonna mention it right now, or some of the things right now.
There's
but
the
go
image.
what were you gonna say?
You failed to mention that before this, the President of the United States sacrificed, like, I think 20 years or so.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, no, go ahead.
He sacrificed the whole entire he made a deal with the gun devil to where the whole entire population of the United States, every single person has 20 years shaved off of their life, essentially. So
I don't think it's 20 years. I think it's like maybe 20 months is what it was. But
was it 20 months? It was some certain amount of time, right?
It's a ridiculous number.
He uses that, and he's like, I need you to kill Makima. Yeah. But then it turns out that Makima is the control devil, yada yada yada.
And also, so we also find out that at this point that they killed the gun devil. They killed the gun devil when he showed up the first time and fucking shot everybody around the planet.
Right.
And that's why nobody could find him. And each person has essentially, or each country has like a stockpile of like WMD fucking
Gun
gun
devil parts.
devil, like fucking weapons, and has been stockpiling them, basically in order to kill people like Makima, who exist to completely fuck and take over anything that they can even come in contact with.
Right.
So Makima, but as Matthew said, Makima then takes control of the Gun Devil and puts him inside of Aki's body, and they creating the Devil Man out of him.
James, imagine Chainsaw Man, right? Imagine Chainsaw Man, but instead his face is just a gun.
Yes,
I think I've already said this joke before.
You have
Yeah.
described this and then sent 2 pictures.
Yeah, his face is just a gun.
Perfect.
It's sick as fuck.
Just imagine imagine your face, but it got transformed into a Glock.
Also, by the way, whenever the Gun Devil shows up to try and kill Makima, he kills like 100,000 people on his way to going to do that. And it's like, there's like weird, crazy stipulations where it's like, if you're born in like these like 8 months of the year, then you just get headshotted. Like literally. If he moves over that area,
you immediately die. And it's like, it really isn't clear though, like how he chooses the months.
It isn't clear why the months he chose, yeah. But that is his stipulation.
But the thing is,
and along with it is like thousands of names across every single panel of all of the people he killed.
I was about to
it's
say,
so sick.
The Gun Devil, like in every panel that he's in, that you see his full body as he's moving, it's just names, and every name represents someone that just got headshot.
Jesus Christ!
This isn't outright said, but like through his character design, you can interpret that if someone is killed by the Gun Devil, they basically are like incorporated into him, because like the entire bottom part of him is like just like a, I don't know if you've ever seen the Castlevania boss Legion or like any like kind of like
no
human monster.
James, it's just faces. It's literal faces.
Okay, sure.
It's just screaming faces. Do you remember the hand monster in Dark Souls 3?
Yes.
Okay, so imagine the mouth. You know how horrific the mouth looked like?
Mm-hmm.
But it's inside the mouth, instead of teeth, they're just faces.
Ah, perfect. Wonderful.
Yes.
Love that.
That's it. That's essentially what the Gun Devil is like.
Yeah. So Aki comes in, he fucking bombs in, attacks Denji, who's like, whoa, what the fuck is happening? Power is confused. She's like, oh, what? He smells like Aki, but he's clearly the fucking Gun Devil. What? Why is this happening?
Right.
And then Denji is like, as he's fighting him, Aki is like perceiving this as like a snowball fight between like a child version of him and Denji, and like this is like a continuation of like his trauma from like whenever the Gun Devil showed up the first time. He was like outside and playing fucking throwing snowballs with his little brother, and like told his little brother like go back inside and get gloves, and when he did, the Gun Devil swung by and fucking blew up his entire house with his parents and little brother inside. As he's just like standing out there, it's like an 8-year-old.
Yep. Just as he's about to open the
Jesus.
door, his house is blown to smithereens. It's blown to shit. Blown up.
So Aki is like, so this is like a extension of that like memory. Is Aki is like now perceiving that he's back to being that age and is like running around in a big snowfield is what he's seeing, as he's in real life going around going sicko mode, shooting fucking blowing buildings and fucking shooting at Denji and shit.
He's not even doing that. He's shooting at innocent people, too. Like, the scene opens up with him just, like, in the middle of a street, like in Tokyo, just shooting at people.
It's like that scene in
Christ.
Gantz that made me stop reading it.
Yep. But I don't. Yeah, this one. Yeah, it's really fucked up, honestly.
So there's
Keep going.
that. Eventually, Denji basically just like, just through the power of like, dude, I don't want to fucking do this. Eventually gets Aki to just like stop and like perceive Denji as like not wanting to play. Is how he sees it. So he stops attacking everybody, and then like eventually cools down to the point where Denji can like slay him easily.
It's a big sad moment.
A big sad moment. This is like and that's the thing is like Denji at this point is like really fucked up about it because he isn't upset about what he did to Aki. If that makes sense, like he is like mentally kind of really fucked up at this point now.
Right.
Where like his ideas of you got to do what you got to do are really fucking with like his moral center, I guess.
Right.
Is the best way to describe it.
Right.
So Makima basically like fully reveals her cards at this point and is to even or not. No, not yet. So, Denji, sad, beaten, defeated, like morally and in his like objective views, goes to Makima and tells her, "Let me be your dog," and basically
Woof.
gives up his dreams.
Wolf.
Jesus Christ.
Which to his so that like ties into his like contract with Puchita, which Puchita was like gave him the vague contract of I want to go see you live, and then this is like kind of conflicting with that in a way. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Matthew?
I just saw it more as just like a very much a turning moment. Like it sort of seemed like he like it turned from a very vague dream to a very harsh reality very quickly in that
That's
instance. Like he had a very boy meets concrete wall harsh reality. It's
Yeah. Speaking of which, so Makima tells him, "Okay, Denji, you can be my dog. Hey, come over here. I want you to open this door for me." And so there's a metaphor that has been going on the entire story of Denji. It's like the Naruto, like, fucking nine-tailed fox looking, like, when he's, like, staring at him behind the gates, where he's like, Denji, don't open the door. Don't do it, Denji. Denji opens the door, and, Power's behind it. And then Makima comes up from behind and blasts her a fucking way into pieces.
There's the image right there if you want to see it, James.
Jesus Christ.
So, Denji then closes the door and goes and lays down on Makima's couch.
Be like that. It really do just be like that.
To this point, Kishibe is now like, we have to kill Makima. Makima is too fucking strong. We have to go kill Makima.
Basically.
He's trying to team up with Quan Chi as well in this plan, and they were doing stuff about that earlier, but whatever.
She's dead as hell at this point. She's dead as dicks.
Is she? Is she
Yes,
dead now?
she died.
Okay.
She's super well. I mean, it depends. Depends on what happens after you say. What do you say after this?
Okay, well, continuing. So, Makima shows up, and yes, she is dead as dicks. I now know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Makima shows up, and she's like, "Hey, guys, cool thing. I have my new pet Chainsawman, and I'm about to fuck shit up."
Yeah.
to much of the chagrin of the Public Safety Corps,
Yup.
who basically throw everything at Denji, who once he transforms now into Chainsaw Man, has undergone an evolution. He now looks like a fucking like Kamen Rider like Power Ranger motherfucker that has his intestines are ripped out of his stomach and then wrapped around his neck like a giant scarf.
Perfect.
And it is like the sickest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. It is so cool. I wish I thought of it.
I already sent the picture earlier, but this is
And he's
essentially
got, like,
his character
he's-
design now.
He has like a second forearm popping out of his like fucking his elbow. He's so cool.
It's like a praying mantis.
What the
I
fuck?
think.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. And then he just fucking kills like 90% of the Public Safety Corps.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. By the way, I did skip a couple of things. So, dude guy from the apartment complex, he was turned into a devil man, and like wore a mask and like walked around as a different character for a while until the quote unquote reveal. It was like never actually revealed, but But he took his mask off and he looks exactly like that character, so it's like
his devil power was violence. He was the violence devil.
yeah, and he wore like a mask that allegedly made him weaker, but I think was more tuned to the like reveal.
That seems
Right.
kind of fucking vague now. It got really
It's
specific
very
with the
vague.
fucking chainsaw devil. Now
Also,
they're giving
you
to the violence devil. What kind of lowbrow bullshit is this turned into?
I
Well-
told you, literally anything can be a devil.
I
You
know,
would
that's
also
so...
think the violence devil would be a primordial thing, but I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, like, so from what I read, it was supposed to be pumping him with poison to keep him at a weakened state,
Yeah.
was the thing. But he got fucking jebaited. He got fucked by the darkness
The
devil.
darkness devil.
So
You can't do much violence when all your limbs are ripped off, you know.
yeah.
He did grow an arm out of his mouth and to try and punch him, which was
Pretty
fucking
lit.
awesome.
It's a lit scene. But anyways, we're at Denji just murdering people now.
Yeah, Denji fucking kills basically everyone, and is essentially fully under Makima's control. We find out, quite possibly one of the most ridiculous powers I've heard in a long time in a manga or anime. So, whenever Denji eats somebody, he can remove them from existence. And that is why the demons fear the Chainsaw Man so much. And Makima goes into saying that the nuclear bombs, Nazis, AIDS, and
Zombies.
various other things were allegedly eaten and devoured by the Chainsaw Man and are removed from existence.
What? Okay. At this point,
So
okay, sure.
let me describe also. It's not removed from actual existence. It's removed from the memories of it is removed from it.
Ah,
So essentially, he's resetting the fear to zero.
that
that
clears
makes any
everything
sense.
up.
I'm sure it does. Anyway.
Tony, we're gonna have to hurry this up. It's 2 hours, bro.
Dude, I repeat, you're not editing it.
I know, but I'm here sitting down, and I also need to go to bed at some point.
I'm
It's
working
2
on it.
hours. Let's
We're
go.
almost there. We're almost there. So, Chainsaw Man fucks everybody up. We find out that he has this crazy, ridiculous power. He essentially gets he essentially has a moment of clarity and is like talks to Pochita And it has like a moment where he's like, "Is this really what I fucking want to be doing? Living as a fucking dog, a soldier for this fucking bitch to control me with?" And decides that no, I will do my own thing, and gets her with this, gets her with a hell of a switcheroo, where so earlier he had thrown his like he had gotten like knocked into like the stratosphere, and in order to get back and not get like blown into space, he like baseball pitched his heart and threw it back down to like the earth, and his body reformed around the heart. So
Jesus.
so he in this gambit essentially has the Chainsaw Man standing there, and then in like a random like like I think it's like a big like pile of bodies, the actual Denji is like laying as like Makima is making this like grandiose villain speech or whatever in this like graveyard. And
Well, in the speech, it also turns out that like Makima is like quote unquote in love or like a fan
yes.
of the Chainsaw Man.
Yes. So, and in fact, she feels like she will win either way. Because up to this point afterwards, I skipped like a fight between Makima and the Chainsaw Man where they basically have a big DBZ fight in the air where they fight each other, and Chainsaw Man fights like a shitload of like controlled like devil men essentially, and it's pretty cool looking. Regardless, yeah. So Makima is giving this speech about how if she wins, then or if she wins, then she wins. But if she dies and gets devoured by the Chainsaw Man, then she also wins because of how big of a fan she is of the Chainsaw Man and how much she just is attracted to him in that manner of
Wants to
like
suck his dick, bro.
and it's like kind of an idea of like opposites attract, where the Chainsaw Man represents this like chaos and Makima is this control, and like I think it's trying to get into the fact that like you can't be totally one or the other in a way.
Right.
So Makima's making this speech. Denji comes up from behind and fucking slashes that bitch down with the chain, or with just like a regular ass chainsaw.
Yeah. I don't know. It's never really shown where he gets the chainsaw from. It's
That's
literally
fine.
a
It was cool
chainsaw
looking.
that he has, and it just
It was
literally
an
cuts
awesome
her in half.
switcheroo. Don't worry about it.
And then the craziest shit happens after that.
So, after this, Denji is then confronted by Kishibe. They're like in a lockdown facility. Him and Kobeni are the only two left alive. And Kishibe basically gives him this ultimatum of oh fuck. I want to mention this just because it was really cool. Before, whenever Denji like had his moment of clarity and like basically ran away from Makima, and like he met up with Kishibe. Kishibe was like, "Yo, are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, it's like, "Fuck yeah, I do, dude." But then Makima tried to do this scheme where like basically made the whole world love Chainsaw Man through media and like the news, and by doing that it depowered Chainsaw Man due to people not fearing him nearly as much.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man.
So that was I don't know, that was just really cool. Anyway, so Kishibe tells Denji though after killing Makima that she's just gonna come back, and that some other country is going to find the control devil again, put it in another kid, and then just keep on doing the same shit. So Denji comes up with his final 1000% IQ plan, where he takes Makima's body and chops it up and prepares it as a beautiful, like, 10-course dinner, and eats the entire thing by himself.
James, your
and
thoughts?
views. How do you feel about this, James? James is truly dead.
James is truly dead. Unfortunately, James has been dead for
Rip
the long.
James.
James also got eaten by Chainsawman.
Rip James. Rip. He's erased from all of our minds. Goodbye.
Unfortunately.
See you, champ.
Unfortunately.
Well, anyway, so he eats her.
God damn it.
Matthew, fucking when he finally read that part, it was
I
the
was-
first thing he announced to me.
I was freaking out, man. I was like, he ate her? And Tony was like, yup. I was like, he ate her, though.
Hey, man, what would you have done?
Dude, I don't know, but, like, spoiler alert, it doesn't work, man.
It doesn't even really work.
It doesn't
Like,
even
she-
really work.
She comes back as like a weird composite of Power, Reze, and Makima, where like she looks like all three of them.
She comes back as a tiny girl.
And he basically has the responsibility now to take care of this little girl and raise her right in order to not become a total bitch. Essentially,
Basically.
like Makima.
Basically.
And then this is the end of part 1. We don't know what the hell is happening with part 2. We don't know when it's coming out. All we know is that it's coming out on fucking VJump Plus.
All I know is that also
and no one will
Chainsaw
be
Man.
able to read it.
Chainsaw Man is also getting an animu, but I don't know
And
when that's coming out.
And I fear that too, because I just do not. I swear I do not want a 3D fucking anime, for the love of God.
But unfortunately, that
I'm
will
gonna
be a
get us
discussion. That'll be a discussion for another day, because this podcast is like 2 hours and 30 minutes long. Jesus
Absolutely. If you guys enjoyed this, fucking
there we go.
subscribe that bad boy, and I don't know. Fucking, you know how this shit works.
Someone comment and tell Tony.
Tell me how wrong I was.
Tell us how wrong we were.
Dude,
All right.
that
Peace
was
out.
without a doubt a
James has
fucking
revived.
fever dream. No, dude, you guys literally asked me a question like 5 seconds after I get up. I was literally sitting down here listening for 45 minutes, and Lauren's like, "Hey, can you give me some water?" I was like, "Sure." Put my headset down, and Lauren's like, "Oops." God damn it.
Well,
Be like that. Be like that, bro. All right.
put
See you
your
guys
answer
later.
in the comments, bro.
The next one will probably be about Archie. If it's not about Archie,
Riverdale.
If it's not about Riverdale, the CW version, then I don't know what it's gonna be about. But spoiler alert,
Smallville.
it'll probably. Dude, I don't think that anyone here has seen Smallville.
Jesus
I know
Christ.
I haven't.
God. Anyways, like, subscribe, do whatever the fuck you want with that, all that stuff. We
Go
will
for
see
it.
you in like maybe 2 weeks or so, or whenever we feel like putting out another one of these.
Until next
Hallelujah.
time, fucking peace.
Happy Halloween, everyone.